Hey guys, welcome to the Succulents Network YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about how to water succulents. But learning how to water succulent can be one of the hardest parts when growing them. However, this video will give you all the inside techniques and tips you could ever need. I will teach you how to water succulents, but I am also going to show you how to create the best watering schedule for all your plants. Let's now talk about the accessories you need for watering succulents. It is most important that you have the correct setup to guarantee success right from the start. If you don't care for your succulents the right way, it will spell disaster for your plants. Here are our 3 critical tools that will make sure your succulents will grow healthy and strong. Plants that don't care for too much moisture, so you will need to have a drainage hole so that the moisture can escape. Another vital function of the pot's drainage hole is to let water flush the excess salts from fertilizers. Containers with a drainage hole are a critical component to caring for your succulent plants. Now, if you want to have a printable PDF guide to watering schedule, be sure that you have a look in our description below. Beginners to watering succulent plants will need to learn how to select the most nutritious soil. You want to choose a soil that is rich in nutrition. Doing so will make it easier for your plants to thrive and grow to be healthy. We are going to talk about 3 most common mistakes that people generally make when they are first growing succulents. Now, if you manage to avoid these common watering mistakes, it will let your plants grow that much faster and better, by bringing you one step closer to a professional succulent planting master. So let's explore what these mistakes are. Mistake number 1. Buying a pot without a drainage hole for your succulents. Firstly, succulent plants can thrive in pots without a drainage hole, but it will require you to take that much more care of them. So your first step should be buying a pot that has a good drainage hole. That means going to a local gardening shop and look at the pottery options. Select one with a larger drainage hole. It is the best choice for any succulent plants. If you need any further help, find out what pots with a drainage hole we recommended that you look in our description below. Taking it a step further, often succulent plants can be used for decoration in most places. So why not to select a beautiful handmade pot with a good drainage hole? Second most common mistake is using the wrong succulent soil. Buying and using the right soil will hugely affect your success of watering your succulent plant. To learn more about what soil to select that won't poorly affect your plants, have a look at our description below. I would recommend that you find the best formula, the one that has high natural values to aid in the development of your plant. Some soil is better for your indoor plants and other soil is better for outdoor plants. But we will not go too much into that right now. As we mentioned before, succulents don't like sitting in wet soil for too long. Additionally, having a pot that drains the most effectively will aid in this process. Having the right soil will make sure the plants aren't too wet for too long. And the third mistake, watering your succulents with a water bottle. Succulents much rather prefer to be fully soaked in water, not dazzled. There are so many people that talk about how to water plants with a spray bottle at home. I can't emphasize it enough how sad that makes me. It means your plants are struggling and not growing their full potential. So throw your spray bottle. If you are going to use spray bottle for anything, I will explain that at the end of our video when or why you can do that. For most cases, watering succulent plants with a spray bottle is not going to get you anywhere. The correct pot and most nutritional, well-draining succulent soil, that means you could water the plant a bit more than if you were using a pot without any drainage hole. Pots without the drainage holes dry slower. That is one of the reasons why you should not use them. Pay attention to your succulents roots. If they are drying up fast, that means the plant is not being watered enough. When you examine your succulents roots, healthy roots look white, pink or a bit shiny. When the plant grows, it will get more roots. so you might need to cut back on how much you water the plant regularly. Although before you cut back on the water, you provide the plants with let them grow into the size of your thumbnail. It's about how often should succulents be watered. When you take care of your succulents the right way, it could still give you plants that are less healthy than what you want. But that is usually because you either under or overwater your plant and fail to see the symptoms from the plant in. How often do you water a succulent and what do you use? I would recommend creating your own tool at home from one of your water bottles that are around. Mark the bottle accordingly so that know how much water is being used each time. The container can then be added to your succulent plant toolkit. It would be a great, cheap alternative to buying an expensive watering bottle. Alternatively to your homemade watering bottle, a watering could work. If you have one of those watering cans, you can water up to 3 plants indoors at the same time instead of just one. For watering succulent plants outside, a large watering can should be used. You could fill it up to several liters of water. That would be easier. That means that you can water most of the plants at the same time without having to refill your smaller watering can. Now I'm going to teach you how to water succulents indoors. So, indoor succulent plants want to be watered until the soil is entirely soaked before you water the plant again. Be sure that you let it dry completely before watering again. This method is the method of soaking the succulent and drying it out. If you water your succulents this way, let your succulent stay soaked until the plant has naturally absorbed all the water and becomes dry before watering it again. Once your soil is soaked, the plant will soak up all the water it can from the soil. At this point, all you should do is wait for the soil to dry out entirely. I mean, from top to bottom of the pot, it sits in. You can feel this water is going through the drainage hole. Let's now water the succulent plant, then let it dry and stay that way for the next several days. This tip matters if your plant is fully grown with more excessive roots. During the drought, your succulent plants will be developing new roots, making the plant roots thicker and healthier. If you let the plants go through the drought, they will absorb much more water when you give them water next time. Remember that you should not use a spray bottle that you find around your house. Spraying the plant lightly won't help the plant grow strong or healthy roots. Rather than growing new, healthy roots when watered, a poorly watered succulent plant would grow weak roots. When the plant is watered correctly, their roots will absorb water instantly, waiting to be watered again. Watering your succulent plant every few days, the plant will grow healthy and active. If you don't think it is correct, try it both ways, and you will see the difference by yourself. As a rule of thumb, I try to water my indoor plant every other day. That does only for plants with a drainage hole, not plants without a drainage hole. Every plant might have their own watering schedule, and where you place your plant in the house matters a lot. If your house doesn't have enough humidity, plants tend to dry out fast and need more water regularly. And what country you live in matters. People who live in a dry climate, you need to water the plants less, 5 or 6 days apart. However, for people who live in a humid country, might only have to water their plants twice a month, sometimes less. When succulent plants are underwater, the plant grows weak. Not sure if you are watering enough or not. An excellent way to see is merely watering the plant a bit more or a bit less frequently. You will see the results quickly. If a plant has thicker leaves, that means your succulent plant is a hybrid and needs water. It means less water than plants with thinner leaves. When it comes down to it, all succulent plants need to be experimented with a little to find the best watering schedule for you. If dealing with a large plant and you are not sure how much to water, it is better to underwater the plant than overwater. Overwatering a fully grown plant might kill the succulent plant faster than underwatering it. Talk about how to water your outdoor succulent plants. When taking care of your outdoor succulent plant, I advise you to pick the right soil for soaking. Remember always to let the succulent plant dry up completely before watering the plant again. It is the same as with indoor plants. When dealing with outdoor succulent plants, it is vital to think about the temperature. That means the warmer the air is, the more you need to water the soil. It means watering the plant every other day or more. Living in a cold city with high humidity means watering your plant less. Usually every 3 days when it is warm during the summer season, but water your succulents less during the winter months. It goes without saying that the air flows better outside than inside. It means that the water evaporates faster. That means you might need to water your outdoor succulent plants more often than your indoor succulents. If you are unsure of what to do with your outdoor succulent plant, bring it inside during the winter months. Bringing your plants inside is especially critical if the temperature where you live hits freezing limits. A good time to relocate your plant is when you start feeling colder. That is when the plant should be moved inside. A week or two before or after won't hurt. Pay attention to the temperature if you want your plant to grow strong. Both plants in pots and plants outdoor need the same amount of water. That means watering the plant regularly. Outside the soil is colder. It dries slower. So be careful to not overwater your plants. So we have talked about the indoor succulent plants and outdoors. But how do you water succulent seedlings? Remember when I said I would tell you when you can use your spraying bottle? Well, the only time that you are allowed to use your spray bottle for watering is now. Time to use the spray bottle is when you are growing the seedlings to make more for your friends and family. If you want to have success in propagating your succulent leaves indoor, then you need to be committed to water the plant every single day. It means spraying the bottom part of the soil with your handy spray bottle. Alternatively, use the home-crafted bottle that we spoke before. Leaves of larger succulent plants absorb water in the air that surrounds them, so spraying the plant is acceptable. Thank you for joining me today. It's all for now. Make sure you subscribe and like the video, and see you for the next one.